So Zero Skull says Brian Green is a charlatan. Thank you, Zero Skull. I appreciate that.
It's the ZERØ Show, episode Drums of Tron. Made with milk from condensed cow files. Watch gameplay on a vintage Tron cabinet. See lots of toys and games, new and vintage. Meet Tron himself, Bruce BOXLEITNER, in an exclusive interview. Learn the possible location of an early draft of the original Tron screenplay. Hear GUINEAN drum beats by Mamady's Drum and Dance. Discover a brand new Hypercube Formula. And more. I might always be wrong.
Hey, hi, hello, hey, welcome, come on in. Come on in, everybody. Sit down, get cozy, scrunch together. What's happening? Welcome to the show. This is the most underground show in the world, and it's my show. And in this episode, we're going to meet Guinean drum and dance instructor named Mamady. We're going to play Tron at the Old North Arcade. We're going to go to the Columbus Toy and Game Show. Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet Bruce BOXLEITNER. And I'll get some toys there. Ooh, and we might even see some interesting formula for transcending dimensions with squares and cubes into hypercubes up to infinity. Maybe. And more. Golly. Yeah, this is a big episode. Apparently, I have been on YouTube since 2006. That's 17 years. Or 16 years now. 17 years now. Golly. And in another 3 years, that'll be 20 years, and I have just achieved 100 subscribers. So, thank you so much for subscribing, if you do. Slow and steady gets you there eventually. Okay, let's get on with the show. Well, I've beaten my old Tron high score, and I'm about to lose now. This is Discs of Tron, which is the video game sequel to the game Tron. I've got 45,000 points now. Oh! It's basic. Oh, there we go. Can we see that? 45,500 points. ZR. Yay. And that's my new world record at Discs of Tron on Game Boy Advance Tron 2.0. I just want to make sure that high score actually saved. It was like 45,000. Yeah, 45,500. Bing. Huh. Bruce BOXLEITNER. He's the guy who played Tron in the movie Tron. There's a Tron figure thing. Apparently, Bruce Boxleitner is going to be at the Columbus Toy and Game Show. I should probably go to that. Maybe I could get him on the show. And then here's a lamppost that got hit by a car. You don't usually see that, I don't think. Yeah, you can see that it broke apart because the base of it is completely rusted because it's made of really trash metal. And you can see where the bolts go that this is like the cheapest, weakest thing they could have used to make a lamppost here. Can we see all that rust in there? You see the rusted spaces? That's not going to hold. That's garbage. Yes, we essentially paid someone to put these structures of garbage that were guaranteed to break all over our city. There's one over there. Boom. And it's going to fall down too. Freelance Films presents a short video demonstration of dimensions transcended for squares into cubes and hypercubes up to infinity. That hip new square thing, part 2, The Angle of Revenge, which was animated by Alex Spires for the ZERØ show. Start with a point, copy it, extend it some distance from the first and draw a line between the two. Press it flat, copy it, move it a distance equal to its length, and draw new lines from the ends, linking the two lines, and you have a square. Press it flat, copy it, move it a distance equal to the length of an edge, draw new lines from the corners, linking the two squares, and you have a cube. Press it flat, copy it, move it a distance equal to the length of an edge, draw new lines from the extreme vertices, linking the two cubes, and you have a tesseract. Press it flat, copy it, move it a distance equal to the length of an edge, draw new lines from the extreme vertices, linking the two tesseracts, and you have a pentaract. Press it flat, copy it, move it a distance equal to the length of an edge, draw new lines from the extreme vertices, linking the two pentaracts, and you have a hesseract. Continue till new lines can be drawn between the shapes. The end. Copyright MMXXIII, Freelance Films, narrated and animated by Alex Spires for the ZERØ show.
He's our teacher. He's our teacher.
Mamady.
He's our teacher.
Sofa, right?
Yes. Wait.
My name is Alex.
Alex.
Auntie?
Sue. Hi. Ellie. Kim. Rose. Ellis. Chris. Hi.
Mamady.
Mamady.
Okay.
All right. Ready? Ready?
What are we doing? Sofa, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I've always been your audience. I'm just a few blocks away, and I just hear you all the time, and I'm like, hey, there's a drum circle going on.
Always. Every Thursday.
Bibi, eh, Kabamina lonne bibi, eh, lonne bibi, eh, Kabamina lonne bibi, eh, lonne bibi, eh, Kabamina lonne bibi. 1, 2, 3, 4.
you. Thank you very much. And that's Mamady's drum circle. That's just, or a drum and dance. Mamady drum and dance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. That was... So this is a sequence that I have decided to call Buddy Birds. It's these two birds, and what they were doing confused me. The one seemed to be following the other. It was a bit late in the season for a mama bird to be trying to teach a baby bird how to eat, so I just watched them, wondering what's going on with them. Are they actually following each other? Does it just appear that way? But the larger one definitely seems to be continuously looking after the smaller one and then following after it. What are they up to? Could they possibly just be going in the same direction? So I followed them, following each other. Right up to the edge of the window. And of course, when I got to the edge of the window, I figured I was never going to find out more than I had already discovered. And then a couple of minutes later I saw them rush by again, and now I was able to see them just under my window, and I found that it was a pigeon and a sparrow, and they're definitely hanging out. And they're just buddy birds. And there they go. And over here we got the Old North Arcade. And that's where I'm going now. Oh boy. And the reason I came to the Old North Arcade is because they have this awesome Tron machine. Tron. And I figure if I'm going to do an episode with Tron, I may as well play Tron. Is that good? Are we clear? Okay. I'm not great at this game. I'm much better at the Game Boy version. I'm much more comfortable with those controls. not going to survive very far beyond level 2. Well, I made it through level 2. So I'm totally like not the best in town. Or I'm not the best in the world, but I'm definitely best in town, I guess. Oh. 26,455, and I'm number 1 on this machine. Z R N and there's my score. 26,455. And there's my ZR. You can see that I did poorly earlier. Alright, and that's the arcade version of Tron. So I'm here at the Columbus Toy and Game Show. It's really like a lot of conventions you go to and they disguise themselves as something else, but it's really just a flea market, and it's a really good one, and it's just toys and games. I got some Game Boy games, got some Star Trek figures, and I got some little Pokemon figures. Really great deals, and it's just like being at a flea market. And then like other conventions, like most of the conventions you go to, it's like you got to pay $100 just to get through the door, and then you're just walking around and it's basically a flea market. And this one is just basically a flea market. It was $12 to get in, and that's nice.
Hello. Hello everyone, once again. Welcome to the Columbus Toy and Game Show.
Thank you.
Good morning.
On the next thrill-filled episode of the ZERØ Show.
Once I settle, y'all get it to you, but it's a pleasure to meet you. I think I'm going to do this
I'm
one
here
too.
at the Columbus Toy and Game Show. They have this awesome Here I am with Tron and Bruce BOXLEITNER.
I certainly have, yes.
Thank you for doing this.
And have an original vintage, the first version of Tron, which would be worth quite a bit now to a fan.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh boy.
Next, thrill-filled time on the ZERØ Show.
Hello. Hello everyone, once again. Welcome to the Columbus Toy and Game Show.
That's the one I received. 150. Yeah.
Good morning to our folks who are here for the
I'll
Columbus
send that
Toy and
information
Game
to you
Show.
once I settle, and I'll get it to you. But it's a pleasure to meet you. I think I'm going to do this one too.
And we have a signed autograph by Stuart Douglas, and we're going to wait for this door prize. Again, that is a signed Stuart Douglas autograph. If your number is 24001, again, 24001, come on to registration and claim your prize.
It was $3 more to buy 1,000 than 500. And it was $5 more to buy 1,000 than 100.
Hello. Hello everyone, once again. Welcome to the Columbus Toy and Game Show.
Well, I'm ZERØ School. I have the world record on the Game Boy version of Tron and on discs of Tron.
Okay.
And here I am with Tron, who is Bruce BOXLEITNER.
I certainly am, yes.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I had 3 questions that I wrote out last night.
Okay.
The first one is simply, what is the biggest difference between the way Tron was shot? 1 second.
And take a look at that blue
1 second, sorry.
Just a commercial.
Everybody take a moment. Look at that blue wristband that you're wearing. And I'm going to read off the number. And this person is the winner of the top Tron. Signed by Bruce BOXLEITNER. Tron.
That's you, man. Nice one.
Good commercial for your film. Keep it in.
I will.
2, 5, 3, 9, 4. You are the lucky winner of this top Tron. Come on to registration. You will leave your bags.
Anyway, here we go. So, what is the difference between the way?
Yeah, the biggest difference between the way the original Tron was shot and the way Legacy was shot.
Well, I think what's interesting about the original and Legacy is you can see that jump in technology that took place after the original Tron was shot and the way we did it. Because there was only like 20-some minutes, I'm not even sure the exact figure, of actual CG in the real Tron. So there was a nice blend of Disney's old school animation, which was done hand painting those cells. And then you also had this mysterious thing called computer graphic.
Right.
And what it did. So I think you saw where the birth of it was. And I think the big difference is it's just that the technology became much more sophisticated. And but I'm so glad that when Joe Kaczynski and the other designers of it, they kept the old recognizers, they kept the light cycles, but they were updated versions.
Yes.
You know, just like old cars, and we see the new cars. It's like the gas running cars, and now we have the electric cars. They're starting to look like light cycles, by the way.
Kind of, yeah.
They'll never go that fast. But I think that's what it is. It's just we gave birth to that technology there, and then, man, 25 or how many years it was then, that really took off and became much more sophisticated, and so much more is done now. Some people complain about that in our contemporary movies, that there's maybe too much CGI. But for the Tron world, it works.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it couldn't have been better.
There's a legend that the first photorealistic CG was actually created by Lucasfilm for an episode of Young Sherlock Holmes. But like if we're going photorealistic relative to the world the movie is in, it has to be bit in Tron, right?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'm not sure that. I think there's a number of people were coming to this. You know, Steven Lisberger just happened to get there. Maybe I'm not sure. I mean, maybe there were other aspects, but all I know is that Hollywood, the word was that there was this new thing coming.
Yes.
And strangely enough, I don't think the Hollywood establishment really knew what to make of it, when they saw the finished product. It's a very simple little story, actually, and with very identifiable characters. It's kind of Alice in Wonderland type of thing, or Through the Looking Glass. You know, in one world you're this way, and then in the other world you're the program.
Yes, yeah.
And so, Jeff gets zapped down. He went down the rabbit hole, into that world, and became a part of it. But I think that the reason when it came out, it was kind of like this. They were anticipating something so huge. It was just, which it has become.
Yes,
it was just like the Big Bang, only it was a prolonged bang. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happened. And then Hollywood kind of backed off from. Well, maybe it's. But yet here you and I talking about it.
Yeah. 40
years later.
I'm old. You're older than me, but that makes me feel so old.
But I think that in a broad sense, maybe other people were coming around to that. Obviously, they were. We started to see it in television commercials. We saw it in all kinds of things like that. So, but for the movies, Tron was the perfect vehicle for CGI to
and thank
come
you for
to place.
being Tron. Thank you for being Alan.
Oh,
Bradley.
I loved it.
Thank you for being Tron.
Yeah, no, I did it. I was actually doing TV westerns mostly then, and I actually wrote. Long story short, I was actually sitting on a horse outside of Tucson, Arizona, waiting for action, and I had this script. I had no time to read this bloody thing, and they wanted an answer back in L.A. We didn't have cell phones, so I'd have to wait to get back to the hotel that night, and I was thumbing through this thing called Tron. And I'm going, I don't know what to think of this. What is this language? What is it? I was so not in that milieu at the time.
hidden
So-
in one of these memories. What's one memory?
What is a memory? What are you talking about? And he, and so I went, oh, heck with it. I stuffed it in the saddlebag, and I think some wrangler somewhere is going to open up an old saddle one day and have an original vintage, the first version of Tron,
Oh, wow.
which would be worth quite a bit now to a fan.
Absolutely,
My God.
absolutely.
But I did. When I got back to LA a week later, Steven Lisberger had called my agent and he said, would he like to come over and we're going to show him something? Because I think even Jeff had some. Jeff was signed on, and then when I found out that Bridges, I admired his work, and you always see people in the business here going, I like what they do,
Yeah.
and I'd love to work with them. This was a perfect opportunity.
Well, that was the show. I hope you had lots and lots of fun, because it was supposed to be fun. Okay, that's it then. Have fun. Bye-bye.
So Zero Skull says Brian Green is a charlatan. Thank you, Zero Skull. I appreciate that.